Good evening and happy new year. Happy 2021, which is really a repeat of 2020. But happy new year to all of you out there listening. Happy new year to my co-host. I haven't talked to you guys since our rather tipsy Christmas Eve sing along, which was a lot of fun. You got to do something to keep yourself amused. But I am Tarsha, your host, and I have my sister Tezra and my
Hello,
sister
Happy New
Candy.
Year.
They are my co-hosts of the Still I Rise Tea Party. Welcome, one and all. And I hope you guys are doing well. How you doing, Tez?
Doing well. Doing well. It's been working and staying low key.
Staying low key?
Yeah.
I hear you. How you doing, Kinj?
I'm doing fabulous. Thank you for asking. I'm the same as Tez. We're working and trying to stay as low key as possible, but I have so many side things going on that it's hard to be, but just trying to stay safe and cautious.
Yeah.
In my endeavors.
Not sure if our other co-host, Miss Tracy, is going to join us today because I know she's dealing with a lot. So keep her in prayer, please.
Mm-hmm.
But if she pops in, then that'll be wonderful. But if not, we definitely understand and we want to keep her in prayer. Well, yeah, 2021, I think, is the birth of a lot of different things for different people. And one thing that has been birthed is this right here. This is Kenji's book.
Hey.
It's called Attack on Marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an awesome book. I feel very blessed to have been a part of this book as I was interviewed, or Keith and I was interviewed for our part in discussing marriage. And marriage ain't no joke, y'all, and it ain't easy. It ain't a cakewalk, and it's something that requires a lot of work. It's something that requires that you remove yourself from self, if that makes any sense. You have to start to be able to be in tune with another person, to be aware of another person's existence, and a lot of your decisions that you make in life are going to evolve around this other person, because as it says in the Bible, the two become one.
Mm-hmm.
Some people that have never been married don't understand that. Sometimes I cringe at even just at Facebook and watching how sometimes how single people will interact with married people. I am very careful how I interact with my guy friends on Facebook that I know are married. Very, very careful. I know Keith has female friends that I'm very appreciative of, because a lot of them befriended me, and they're very inclusive of me, just so that I don't ever feel uncomfortable with with them talking to Keith. And I'm appreciative of that. I think that's being respectful. If I see that you're a single person that doesn't respect marriage, I'll cut you off, because I just think the institution, within itself, is something to be highly revered and to be placed very high. I try to take into consideration before and not make judgments, particularly with people who may not have grown up with seeing mommy and daddy married together. And so sometimes that can kind of skew how we treat the institution of marriage. But, I know Tezra and I were blessed that we were able to see our parents, our grandparents. Tezra was too young, but I was blessed to see my great-grandparents, who were married for 76 years.
I remember Donna.
Yeah, Donna and Papa were married 76 years. And I remember how Early Times would always feature them in the newspaper. And so I definitely grew up learning to respect marriage and to respect those who are married and know that you cannot interfere with a married couple. Even if it's a relative, you can't, like Tezra, when Tezra bought her home as a single woman, and I have a key and I could go in her house freely and whatever. And that's my sister. But now even if I'm around the corner, I'm gonna text, I'm gonna call, hey, because she has a spouse now and I have to respect that. So, people have to learn to respect marriage. So that's
Right.
just my little 2 cents. But without further ado, I am going to let Miss Kendi talk about her own book and just, tell us what inspired her to write the book and what tell us about her book writing journey and things that she had to deal with along the way. So Kendi, it's all yours.
Okay, great. What really quick, this is total side note. We're not live on Facebook.
Shut
You
up.
not?
No.
Here we
We're
are.
not live on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
You
It's
see?
saying sending data. Hold on. We're
You see
live on
it?
YouTube.
Oh,
And
okay.
we're not live on my personal page. We're live on Tarsha Rogers. So let me see
Oh,
if I
okay. I'm sorry. I was just making sure
if
because I
I
wanted
can
to share it.
figure out.
And
No, it should be live on the other ones because let me
Yeah.
figure out how to get it. Let me see
Yeah, you're saying live
how
on
to
Tarsha
get it
Rogers.
because I don't want to stop nothing because it is live. Let me see if I turn this off and turn it back on.
no,
And I
okay.
know it was trying to send me a message too about my personal page. Oh, let me see.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to share it, and I was like, I can't find it. I'm not even tagged.
Uh,
Are you tagged in it, Tezra?
I kind of like refresh my page
Uh-huh.
and then it pops up
Okay.
because it always pops up when someone is like doing like a live
I know. Let me go
thing.
to the
feed.
Tarsha Rogers page because that's it. We definitely are on there.
Yeah,
So,
you're
let me
on
figure
on there.
Let me
You're
go.
on there.
I'm
I can
sorry. I
actually-
went to Tarsha Player Rogers.
Oh,
So yeah, that's my personal page, but
Okay,
I
I'm
should
sorry.
be able to tag. I should be able
you're
to
not on the other one.
to get this onto my regular page. Hold on. Oh, technology. But I love it.
Just
I
want
love
to make sure our
technology.
readers are able to. I
Yeah.
didn't realize there was another.
You know what? I know another way I could do this. I could probably paste it onto my
Okay, there you
Facebook.
go.
Hold on.
Yeah, because
I
I'm
can
sorry,
paste it from YouTube because I'm live on YouTube. So if I go to my personal Facebook, oh, you want me to
Okay.
log? Oh, that's why I'm not logged in because Braxton. See this? Oh, God. Jesus. Okay. He was on my
Oh,
computer.
I see where we. Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, no
He
problem.
was on my computer, and I'm completely logged out of Facebook.
Happy
Oh,
New
look at that
Year.
beautiful face.
You froze. Jinxie. Woo.
Look at that beautiful, beautiful face. So
Well, it's
now
nice that she got frozen
She
like that.
froze. Hey.
she's such a pretty, pretty girl. Now let's
Happy New
see.
Year.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to my other co-host and sister, Miss
Yes.
Tracy.
There you
Okay.
are.
So let me see. It's still saying sending data.
Okay.
Let me turn
You
it
know-
off.
You know, it's just what we could do is I'll go ahead and talk, and then maybe you could just tag us while you're doing that.
Yeah, you just keep
Right.
talking, and then
Yeah.
and I'm gonna work on the other part so we can keep going. So yeah, so
Yeah.
tell us about your book journey and how you came to even write your book.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you, Tarsha, for doing this segment. I so appreciate you, and thank you for you and Keith sharing your story in my book. That was so wonderful, and I have asked. I have 31 couples in the book. I did ask some couples that said no, because not everybody wants to be transparent. Not everybody wants to put their business out there, regardless if it's good or bad or whatever. I even had somebody tell me they weren't worthy enough to be in the book
Wow.
because I felt so bad for her because she had been married before, and her husband divorced, and then she remarried, and then the husband got sick and passed away. And so I had different excuses for or reasons, not excuses, I'm sorry, reasons why people did not want to be in it. So I appreciate you and Keith sharing your story. Let me just start with that.
Absolutely.
And all my 31 couples. So Attack on Marriage, Fighting for Your Soulmate started as a devotional on Facebook. I was going through a divorce at the time, and God spoke to me. One day I was just sitting there, and I think I was in my prayer time, and God spoke to me and said, "You're going to do a devotional." And if anybody has a relationship with God, and when God speaks to you, you know his voice. He says, "My sheep know my voice." And when he speaks to you, it's kind of scary because you look around sometimes like, did y'all hear that? Or, because especially when it's clear. So he spoke to me and he said that I was going to do a devotional. And I'm looking like, first of all, I'm going through divorce at the time. How am I going to write a devotional about marriages? And God said, just do it, which I wrote that in the book. So I started in August of 2017. So August 1st, I wrote my first devotional. Came back August 2nd, did one. That went all the way till August the 5th. By August the 5th, I had people coming to my page looking for what I was going to write next. And I was surprised because people had started following it. By day 18, I ended up having one of my friends, a couple in the book, his name is Tyrone. He ended up coming to me, inboxing me and saying that you should turn this into a book because this is blessing people. And I'm like, okay. I didn't even want to pretty much pay him any attention because I was doing what God said to do. I was being obedient. Now, mind you, I'm still thinking in my mind that I'm not worthy to do this. So by day 31, when I was done with the devotional, I felt good about it. Like, okay, I did what you asked me to do, God. And so some time had went by, and I remember my spiritual mother had told me that she wanted me to come to this church service with her, and I did. And she wanted me to meet this pastor who had just wrote a book. And after his sermon, which was awesome, she told me to go talk to him. Well, I was the last person to talk to him, and he asked me what was I doing, and I told him, at the time I was trying to get my own TV show. I'm a DIY person. I love doing decor. I love making things on my own. And so he said, well, I see you writing a book. He said, the show, I see a play. He said, I see a play, I don't see a show, I see a play. He said, but I see a book. And I'm like, okay. And have you ever heard a word from a preacher and the word was on? So like when he preached, it was on it. But then when he gave you the word, you like, oh, you off right there, brother. You was on it on the pulpit, but you off right now. So I was just like, okay, I didn't think about it. And that kind of sat with me a little bit. And I had prayed one night and God told me, you're going to turn this into a book. And I was really surprised because never in my wildest dreams did I think I would be an author, because I always thought everybody probably thinks their life is interesting, maybe, but you never think that you can write and share your story and people will want to listen to it. And that's what I thought. I thought, I'm a little crazy. I sing, I act and do all this different stuff. So if I was going to write anything, I would think it would be about the entertainment side. Never in my wildest dreams did I think it would be anything about marriage. Now, one of the things is that God spoke all of this to me as I was in the wilderness. I realized that after this book was done, and because mind you, even the process of finding the couples, okay, I'll get to that part. I still was thinking that I wasn't worthy of this, because when you do something pertaining to marriage, usually people that do that are in a thriving marriage. They talk about it because they've had this wonderful marriage with a wonderful loving spouse and all these great things. I didn't have that. So it was really baffling me that God had gave this task to me. But the reason why he gave the task to me is because I was open to receive what he had. What he poured into me was nothing like what I experienced while I was married.
Okay.
The hurtful part was that all of this came to me while I was going through the divorce, while I was in the wilderness. And I realized that God could not speak to me the way he did when I was in the situation, because I wouldn't have paid attention or heard him. He had to get me alone by myself during this vulnerable time to actually impart what he needed to go into that book. So even though it was a painful experience, it was needed. I could say, just like Jonah in the belly of the whale, he was running from God. God knew exactly how to get him so he can answer his calling. And God knew exactly where I needed to be to answer the calling. It doesn't always feel good, but God knows us best, and he knows what's best for us. And so during the time I was writing the book, after I wrote the devotional, I end up, taking everything from Facebook and putting it in paper form. I asked the Lord, what else should I do other than the devotional? Because I'm like, there's all kind of marriage devotionals, but what's going to make me different? Who am I? Who is Kenji? And that's when God spoke to me and said, people need to hear other people's stories. They need to hear success. People that have been in successful marriages, they need to hear their stories. I said, okay. So I had to find 31 couples that had been married 10 or more years and seek them out, ask them to tell what in the book, what has caused their marriage to survive so long, what helped it thrive, what kept them together. And God would give me different couples. Some couples, like I said no, but God ended up replacing the couples. And I have couples in the book that have been married from 10 years all the way to 60 years. And I think it's so cute, but the couple that's been married 60 years is actually one of my ex-boyfriend's parents. So, and then I have a couple that's been in the book where one of my friends from the 6th grade in West Covina, her and her husband are in. I have one of our KGLH choir members, Valerie, her and her husband are in there. I have a variety of people in there from different ages, different ethnicities. So I wanted it to be something that everybody that picked up this book can relate to somebody in this book. You can pick it up and see some couple in the book that have that you can relate to. And even for the singles, what's great about it for singles is that I let some single people read it. And one of the ladies I let read it is oh God, what is it called? It starts with a P. What do you do? What was it called when you oh my goodness, I'm sorry. What's it called when you represent somebody and you're
Agent?
No, it starts with a P.
When you
It'll come
Oh,
to
you mean a publicity?
a publicist.
Publicist.
Publicist. Oh, okay, got it.
I'm so sorry, you guys. It was like gone.
Brain fart.
We'll help
I'm older than all of y'all. You should not be doing that.
Okay.
you.
I let my the publicist read it, and she actually said that she took the book. She said she wanted to read it while she was on her vacation, Christmas vacation. So this was last year.
Okay.
So I let her take the book, and she came back and she was telling me that that she never looked at marriage like that because she was single. She never understood that
The Kenji Freeze.
the seriousness of marriage. She said
Mhm.
that she understood her mother's marriage better. It taught her to appreciate her mother's marriage, and that meant that
Okay.
maybe her mother was going through some different things that she dealt with that maybe her daughter didn't understand or didn't quite agree with. But
Mhm.
after reading the book, she had a newfound like understanding for
Mhm.
me, and she respected her mother even more because I guess she was whatever she was dealing with, her mom was sticking it out.
Wow.
So it's an eye opener for singles, and it was actually an eye opener for me. Now, one thing I can say too is that after I wrote the devotion, or when I was going through it, I also had a different type of love for my husband. Well,
Mhm.
now ex-husband, I refer to him. I had a different love for him because I actually, which was weird, was after we separated and God spoke to me and showed me what marriage was about. I had a newfound love for him.
Okay.
And I thought that was kind of weird that the way that I started to love him afterwards was how I was supposed to love him during.
Wow.
If you
Wow.
understand it. And
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I say that God couldn't have given me what he gave me while I was in the marriage. He had to remove us from the situation for me to actually see. And as painful as it was, it had to happen. And
Wow.
this only sad part about it was I prayed and I fasted. I had a prayer closet and I did everything I needed to do to try to save my marriage. And it wasn't saved, but I was in a different place than he was.
Got it.
This whole what God gave me with the book taught me to see marriage different. And
Okay.
I was ready to, even though I put him out and he did the divorce thing, I was ready to accept him back after this book. But he wasn't. Whatever was going on with him mentally, he was there, and he couldn't see anything past where he was seeing. And so, needless to say, we ended up divorced. Our divorce ended up going through. And so with this book, I'm praying that couples that read this book that are on the verge of divorce or thinking about divorce will read this book and seek God, and there's the situation will turn around. Because we know that through God all things are possible.
All things are possible.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't condone any form of abuse, and I believe that whatever you're going through, you have to seek God. But I strongly am a believer of seek God for everything. But yeah, but this book was a long time coming. I told you I started this in August of
Yeah.
2017.
Because I remember doing the interview with you, and I'm like, when's the book coming out? When is the book
Yeah.
coming out?
Mm-hmm.
But let me share this one thing too, real quick. In the beginning of after I wrote the book, I had, put when I had the devotional and I did the couples, I also wanted to write in the book a little bit about the story about my marriage. So when people would read it, they would be like, well, who is she? What makes her able to write this book? And I wanted to write about what I had went through in the marriage. And I was very explicit. I talked about how the church, how I had the church hurt, how the church and the pastor affected, was involved with us getting divorced. His mom, I mean, I was laying it all out there. And I actually sent him the book. And at first he didn't have a problem with what I had put in the book. This was in the beginning, before the devotional, because I wanted to give people a backstory. And at first he didn't have a problem with it. And then later on, I don't know, something clicked in his head and he decided, oh, no, I don't want this coming out. And and he threatened to sue me.
Wow.
And he went that far.
Oh my God.
He went that far. He got an attorney and everything.
Mm.
And it was funny because, I'm in law. And so when I read the letter, I was like, who wrote this? I felt like he went and got some letterhead. And anyway, so, and my whole attitude was, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
What, you could threaten to sue me. I got messages saying you told me to go on and put the book out. Like this was Kenji. I ain't tripping off of you. You told me. So I had to remove this Kenji, and I had to pray about should that actually be in the book?
Right.
Did I hear God tell me to put that in the book, or is that something that I wanted to put in the book?
Gotcha.
Because if God told me to put it in the book, yeah, there's when you do stuff when God tells you to do something, yeah, sometimes you have adversity, sometimes you have some kickback, but it's not that heavy.
Yeah.
And so I went to work one day recently, and I was at work, and I was something just said, you know what, kids, you pray about this. And I prayed and I said, Lord, am I supposed to have that in the book? If I, because I want this book to bless marriages, but how am I going to put out a book and then he come after me and want to sue me, and then we in court battling over this book that's supposed to bless marriages? I already got the devil after me because he doesn't want marriages to survive. But now I got him too. So I prayed about it at work. I got home. I was talking to a really good friend of mine on the phone, and he said, in the middle of the conversation, he says, oh, by the way, God said to tell you that you don't need to tell your story right now, that there's going to be a time when you tell your story, but it's not right now. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And then I told him, I said, wow, I can't believe you just told me that, because I've just prayed today about if I should leave that in the book or not. And so he went even further and said, if you put all of that in that book and people read that, yeah, you're telling your story, but that has nothing to do with this book. The whole purpose of this book is to save marriages, and you're going to have people mad at you for putting all that in the book, blasting him. They're going to say, some people are going to say you blasted him. So, he said, no, that's a distraction from the purpose of the book. And I said,
and I think that's correct. I absolutely think that's correct, because it's not about blasting him. It's about helping somebody else that's married.
Correct.
Or thinking of being married.
Correct. And I didn't want people to start looking at me crazy, and that would have took away from the book. And that's not what I wanted to do. So, and I felt good about taking it out.
Yeah.
It was no hesitation. It wasn't like I was like contemplating, like, was that really the Lord? No. It's God when you hear something or you ask God for an answer and you get it.
Yes.
And that's confirmation.
Yes.
So, so needless to say, I am really excited about this book. I'm really confident that it's going to save marriages. I've had some awesome feedback about it.
Mhm.
And that's the whole purpose. Now my thing is, now that we're like in this pandemic, it's hard to like go to different churches. So
Right.
I really want to market it to the couples ministries, the single ministries,
Mhm.
just get it out there so that couples can actually start doing this devotional together,
Okay.
especially now that they're home to get, some people are
Yeah.
really
Some people are
having a
breaking up.
hard time.
Yeah, some people are having a hard time during this pandemic, and are actually it's not helping some marriages.
Yeah.
I would personally, I think Keith and I have done well, but I just be reading stuff online and hearing different things where people being together so much is causing a little bit of friction.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So help that people can get to, because again, it goes back to the two become one, and it's so hard because we all still are our own individuals. And so
Right.
when you start saying two become one, it's like, okay, well, I don't want to lose my own unique individual self, but you do have to consider this other person. I think it's awesome that you wrote the book.
Thank
and I was
you.
reading a lot of the stories, and they're very inspiring.
Right.
Because,
Well,
like I said at the beginning, marriages work.
right. Well, if you don't mind, can I read one of the
Absolutely.
excerpts? Okay.
Absolutely.
I want to read day 2, and let me just set this up for you guys who don't haven't seen the book yet. So I start with a scripture, and then I title that day, and then after I read about the title, then I say a prayer, and then I feature the couple story and their photo. So that's really great too, that you actually get to see the couple and read the story.
Okay.
You get to put faces to the actual story. I even got our buddy Brent Jones, him and his wife Shelly.
I read his story.
Yeah, and Donna Crockett. Oh, there's some people in there. I'm just like, man, I'm really excited. So let me read this. I'm gonna read day 2.
Okay.
So the scripture starts with, love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. Prophecy and speaking in unknown languages and special knowledge will become useless, but love will last forever. That's 1 Corinthians 13, verses 7 and 8. And day 2 is titled Unconditional Love. And it says, love endures all. Wouldn't it be great if we can love others the way God loved us? Unfortunately, that wonderful agape love where it does, I'm sorry. Oh, see, that's Kenji need her readers on. It said, let me start again. Love endures all. Wouldn't it be great if we could love others the way God loves us? Unconditionally. That wonderful agape love where it does not keep a record of any wrongdoing. That feel-good love that makes you all giddy inside. Wouldn't it be great if we can love with consistency? That same love that made you fall in love with your spouse and made you decide to spend the rest of your life with him or her. Wouldn't it be great if that love were consistent every day, all day? We should strive daily to be like God, especially when it comes to loving our spouse. We all need love. Love is a wonderful feeling that comes from the heart. Love is something not to be played with or to be taken advantage of. So many people want to be loved but cannot find genuine love. As married couples, we need to practice loving each other like we want to be loved. Today, let's pray that we always remember that agape, love and express it daily. The prayer says, Father God, we come to you today asking you to fill us with that agape love for our spouse, that same agape love you have for us. Help us to love our spouse unconditionally. Help us to be forgiving the way you are forgiving. Help us to feel that unconditional love that you feel for us. Help us not to be so judgmental with our spouse, but to be more loving and understanding when needed. Help us to remember that love is patient and love is kind. It is not proud or boastful and keeps a record of any harm. Amen.
Wow.
And then I feature a couple and has their picture.
Wow.
So that's day
That's
2.
awesome. That's
That
awesome.
is so awesome, Sissy. I'm proud of you. I
Thank
am
And
so
you.
proud of you.
again, everybody that's watching, this is the book
I
here.
get my copy.
Oh, yeah, so tell us where we can get a copy.
Yes.
Right now you can get it on Amazon.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the only place that is being sold right now. I'm working on getting a website, but right now it's Amazon. And I have to figure out, even if I get a website and you can order it from my website, I don't know how that is like recorded with, how you have New York bestsellers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I don't know if you like website, if you're able to record like your sales. Do you understand what I mean?
You can if you do,
Oh, to
if
figure
you
out
do
how
it
much,
with
how many
like
you've sold.
Shopify. If you use Shopify or something like that, you can record your sales and you can pull up reports.
Okay. Well, we'll talk
Yeah.
about that. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I can help you with that.
yeah, because I want more people to hear about this book.
Yes.
And I really have to pray about it and talk to, I know so many people have so many different resources, but I really want to find a way to get it out there and do something. I even want to do something like when I get my website built, I want to be able to couples to go on there and that have done the devotional and leave me a message, tell me their stories. I want to do stuff where I have couples going on like little getaways and coming back and telling me how the getaway helped them, because in the book it's I think I'm gonna eventually do a workbook, because I do have some in the beginning of the book I do ask you to write down certain things that things about your spouse. And then at the end of the book, I go back and ask you if you felt the same. Write down, after you've went through the devotional, to write down how you feel now, to see if it's the same. Because sometimes, like I said, I needed this book to actually have a different type of love for my husband. And what I'm praying, that those people that are married that don't have that agape love for their spouse, that once they read this book, they will. Now, I know that's asking a lot, but if you are really committed to having a better marriage, then it'll work for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Commitment. It's key.
And I even had some singles that read it that were like, "Oh, I didn't know it was like that." Like, yeah, like what we were talking about, the two becoming one. People don't understand that. It's like it's a selfish type thing. If I feel like that, if my goal is to please you, and your goal is to please me, we can't lose.
Right.
If I'm putting you first, I'm thinking about you. Well, God first, but if I'm thinking about you first, I want to make you happy, and your goal is to make me happy.
So true. Well, that's good stuff.
You can't lose.
It's stuff.
It's like a knot. Once you tie that knot should stay tied.
Yeah.
It's the fact that we get to in situations where the knot is untied. Yeah.
Keep people away from your knot. This is another thing people don't understand about marriage. Nobody else should be in the marriage. Whatever you're going through, whatever issues you're having, you either need to seek God first. You need to talk to each other, and if it gets really bad, then you need to seek professional help. But you shouldn't be talking to mama, daddy, sister, brother. None of them.
God
don't have
should be tied within that
in your
knot.
marriage.
Yeah. You know what's funny, Tarsha? the very first day of my devotional is titled Godly Advice. And that's what I talk about. The very first day. As a matter of fact, I think I talked about that a couple of times in the book.
Yeah. That's a marriage destroyer. Every wedding I go to, and they tell you, oh, you got something to say to the couple. Keep everybody out your marriage. That's the only advice that I have to give you. And that's the only advice I need to give you. Keep everybody out of your marriage. Don't talk about nothing.
Yeah.
And I have a saying that goes, do not let somebody make you make a decision that they don't have to live with.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, people can tell you what to do all day long.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do it, you have to live with that decision, especially if it's something negative or something that goes against marriage.
Right.
Why would you let anybody that is not marriage minded or is not happy or does not
right.
You know what I mean?
It's a big thing.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. And
so excited. I'm really excited, and definitely I'll help you with get set on Shopify and get your website. But I'm really excited, and I was very happy to be able to participate, and even more happy to support and actually buy the book. So he said he's gonna buy his own, and he wants to read it as well. Yeah, he asked me to support my sis, and he wants to buy the book and read it on his own. So just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah. So I know. So 2021 is the year for the business endeavors, and I think I kind of shared with you guys what I was doing behind the scenes, but I didn't really become official with it until I took my last certificate. So now I have 2 certifications in body contouring, and I have my certification in bloodborne pathogens. And so, and just real quick on how I got into all of this is, my body took a toll with the cancer and the chemos and the treatments, and taking away 17 lymph nodes, and I have issues with swelling and bloating, and I was doing some of these things, going to other people, like getting the ultrasonic cavitation and things just kind of to keep my stomach flat and whatever. And even with weight loss, I still have some of these issues. And so I'm like, I know I'm not the only person with issues. And sometimes you can diet and lose weight, and you still have these little pockets. So I said, well, let me start learning, doing more research and learning more about it. And, I would do the sauna detoxes and the lymphatic drainage, where you put on the lymphatic suit and do the drainage. And so I said, okay, well, I'm gonna start studying this stuff. And so now I'm certified and can do all that. So, with that, I bought the machine. So I have a full laser lipo machine. I can do the laser lipo. I can do the ultrasonic cavitation. Right. And after the show, Tracy, because Kenji's doing she's already got an appointment. You can come with her. It's on the 23rd.
Yes.
So where
I haven't even told her that, but Tracy, write that down, the 23rd.
So where I did my training is one of my trainings is in Inglewood. So she was kind enough to she says I can use for 30 days. I can actually use her studio and book some of my first appointments. And so, of course, by me living where I live, the weekends are the better days. So I have booked 6 appointments for January the 23rd. And I am super excited. And so I have also leased my spot here in Camarillo. So when they open up the salons and everything, I'll be ready to go. It's within like the Phoenix Suites, where they have the different hair salons all in one suite. So I have a suite doing the body contouring. And the good thing is, within my area, you have people doing it in Oxnard, and you have people doing it in Thousand Oaks and Westlake Village. But there's nobody doing it in Camarillo. So that's a super plus. So I said, I'll try to do as many as I can in Inglewood. And then I'll offer discounts to people that have to drive from LA down, because, once you get a treatment, I tell you, you're going to get hooked, because I'm hooked myself. I've been giving myself the treatments and the little booty pop treatments and all that. And so when Keith saw me laying on the massage table with that machine hooked up, he was like, what in the world is that? But when I tell you it works, so it works. So my little starter treatment is the ultrasonic cavitation, the laser lipo, and then we do the vacuuming, and then we do the booty thing, and then afterwards I have you get on the whole vibration so you can vibrate, because once we break up that fat cells, because that's what this is breaking up the fat cells, they've got to expel. So part of it is you got to drink a lot of water, and we got to get you moving so that can now expel. And it can be a permanent thing. It takes more than one treatment, but it can be permanent if you make, some lifestyle changes or whatever. But I'm also looking into creating memberships where people can just come monthly and get their treatment. So,
and then later on, you and I will talk about how to advertise that business.
absolutely, on KJL.
Good.
Yes,
Come
ma'am.
on here. Yes.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I am excited. I definitely want to, for my breast cancer survivors, I want to give them special love. Now, if you're currently in any type of treatment, I can't do anything with you, but I can do the sauna detox and the lymphatic drainage. But I can't do any of the lipos on you while you're in treatment. If you're I can work on someone that's diabetic as long as they're up on their medications and all of that. I can work on someone with high blood pressure again, as long as you're taking your proper medication. So there's a whole consent form that you have to fill out to make sure that you're the right candidate. And it's not for somebody that's 300 or 400 pounds either, because that is, that's not gonna, you're gonna have to lose some weight first, and then maybe I can work on you. But I've seen some before and afters that are just like out of this world. And I did my first butt lift last Saturday, and I was so proud of it. I'm like, oh my goodness. I mean, her butt was just like sitting up, because the machine literally like kind of pulls, and there's degrees where, so it's not. The machine literally kind of pulls it out, and I can do a variation. So if you want it to sit from a pie, I can do it from a pie. I like to get it from below, and where it's kind of being raised up and out, because that's more shapely. So
Lord,
they're shaking her head, girl, you better rest.
Boy, you ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing.
Look, wait, hold on one second. Hey, get my Daisy Dukes out of the closet.
But
it's right next to my feather boa.
It takes good fortified treatments, but you can see results after one treatment. Because I did her last Saturday, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Hallelujah.
And she was there. So for everybody that's doing my intro session or whatever, which is $75, I'm throwing in the booty thing for free.
So, what is it? Booty cream? It's called Tasha's booty cream.
No, she said the booty thing. She throwing the booty thing in for free.
Yeah.
She has some booty cream.
Lord have mercy. No, the butt lift. I'm throwing it in for free.
Look, now that is a thought now. Come on now. Come on. Okay.
So, and I'm gonna try not to take it for Drina. Drina is a registered nurse, so I learned from a very good person. And I'm gonna try not to do too much changing of her spot, because I'm all about ambiance and that good person practice. And so for mine, I'm gonna have the teas and the nature sounds and the music and the candles and a really good ambiance when you come into my studio. She has a nice studio, but my vision is just a little different. So, but I'm grateful for her giving me the opportunity that I can use her studio for free. When I get in my little Camarillo studio, I got to pay that lease. So I'm definitely grateful for her giving her students that opportunity that they can actually book clients there for a month for free. So I'm utilizing that. And so, like I said, on the 23rd, I've got clients from 9 to pretty much to 3 o'clock. So I'm gonna give you guys, I've purchased spa robes for you. And so it's gonna be a really nice experience. Yes, I'm
really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be popping it.
I'm gonna
So-
practice when I get off the phone.
Oh, Lord. help us.
Oh gosh.
And so, and this is not just all the physical. I also talk about exercise. I have an exercise plan. I have a diet plan. I have all those things. So it's not just, fixing stuff or whatever. It's how are you going to retain, the work that we do. So it's all of that. So I'm excited because this is something I've been passionate about with my own body. And it's like, why not start create businesses off of things that you're passionate about?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Because
and
I
there's
went
no
to
money
somebody.
made in the beauty industry.
I've been on a workout regimen lately. I kind of tried to do the Culver City stairs,
Awesome.
and which almost killed me. So I'm gonna bring Kenji with me next time.
Yes. So we can both die.
I'm taking you with me. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've
We
been on
gonna
a
get up and not be
exercise
able to
mission
get back
too.
down.
Tasha
Yeah.
gonna be calling
You
us
want
like,
to
"Where
Tasha?
y'all at?" I'll
I've
be
been
like,
on an
"Please,
exercise
please,
mission too, doing different
You
things, doing
exercise?
building up my cardio and using the
Mhm.
weights and also doing yoga and Pilates. So I kind of mix it up.
Oh, great.
Pilates.
Well, come
You
on
wanna
and let
do-
your sister
You
work
want
on
to
it.
do those stairs?
Oh yeah, I've been to those stairs.
How about you, Tarsha?
I've never done the Culver City stairs, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, buddy, I'm still sore.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make myself do it again. I'm on Saturday, but I'm going to take this young man back to college on Saturday.
Yeah, my young man goes back to school Saturday too. Yeah,
I'm so
Mom,
heartbroken.
about it.
Me either. He has to be back by the 17th so he can quarantine.
Yeah, yes, yeah. They quarantine first too before they start class.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's a trip.
Yes.
yeah.
So,
He doesn't want to sit here and not do anything, not doing his schooling, not working. He wants to get on with his life. So I was trying to explain to my
Yeah.
mom, as a young man, I can't make his decisions for him. He has to make his own decisions, and he's a responsible young man. So that's why I'm not worried about it. If he was a partier, I'd be like, I don't think he
yes.
can go back
Yes.
to school. But he's not.
Yes. See,
Right.
my son is ready now. He wasn't ready the first time. Now he understands what it's about and he's ready to go back and handle his business. So you guys pray for me on this long drive that I have.
Yeah. Be careful.
All the way back to San Jose.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Yeah.
That's Kenji's alma mater. She went to San Jose.
Yay.
It's JSU. Go Sparta Go. I was a Sparta Go dancer.
Ooh.
Well, we can stay on and keep talking, but I'm going to wrap up the show. But I thank you guys for tuning in. I see people been tuning in and out. And Kenji's holding up her book, Attack on Marriage, which you can find on Amazon.com. Again, the name of the book is Attack on Marriage. So for those who are married, in relationships, considering marriage, please get the book. Get the book just to support, because it's a really good book. And so I want you guys to support Kenji and her mission and what she's doing, because I really think it's truly awesome.
Yeah. And also I've had some people that single people that were like, I have somebody that's going through and I'm going to get this for them. So if you know somebody struggling or whatever,
Okay.
be a
Awesome.
blessing.
Awesome. Well, that's our time today, ladies, and we'll be back. I actually have something, I think, a juicy story I saw on Facebook. And the premise of it is, I think it was on Jonathan DeVoe's page, but the premise of it is somebody got engaged, but she's got an attitude because she feels like you shouldn't get engaged on your birthday, Christmas, New Year's, that doesn't show any imagination. And so she is going to turn down the proposal because it's going to fall on one of those days. And I think that is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. But we can
He's
talk about it.
stupid.
Dumb.
He's stupid.
Yeah,
If I was
yeah.
to do, I'd walk away from her.
I
I would too.
hate to say it, but I know I'm about to date myself and sound like some little old lady, but that's these young chicks. And it's like, this is why y'all ain't gonna never be married, because you just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what difference does it make? If someone thinks enough of you, to ask you to be his wife, his lifelong partner, puts together something,
Ain't like you getting married on your birthday.
all of that. You're gonna say no because it fell on your birthday, Christmas, but we'll talk about it next year. We're getting all into it now. We're gonna talk about it. I'm not
Next week.
We'll talk about it next week.
Back on the marriage.
That's going
Girl,
to be our topic for next week.
Yeah, because you know what? Because girl, you got me ready. I'm like, that's petty Betty. She petty. She's
Oh,
already
my
my
she
showing.
God.
is.
We're gonna have
She's
a field
already
day with
showing
girlfriends.
signs. She's
She gonna be
already showing
single.
signs that
Mhm.
that
And that's
them- they're-
definitely that's
and-
an attack on marriage, Kenji, before
Yeah.
the marriage even happens.
yeah, because she's not even marriage minded.
No,
Right.
No.
Right. Okay,
that's
we
being
gotta stop.
selfish.
We gotta stop. That's we gotta stop. 'Cause it's gonna be good stuff. So we gotta just hold on to it till next week.
You done got me all fired up.
I know.
Don't start
So
no
thank
fire.
you
You
guys
can't
for
hold me down.
tuning in. Right. Thank you guys for tuning in, and just remember, our glory does not consist in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Still I rise, still you rise, still we all rise. Thank you and have a wonderful week. And again, I say to one and all, Happy New Year. And I hope that 2021 is a lot better than 2020.
Right.
And with that, where is my music? My music is cute. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay, here we go. Good night, everybody.